Good morning, everybody. My name is Laura Furamoto, and I am a Rodan Fields consultant. Thank you so much for letting me tell my story today. I've got a little bit of notes because I'm a little bit nervous. Anyway, the theme of my introduction today, or my story, is that a dream is a wish your heart makes, and I truly believe that. I'm a big Disney fan, and I don't think anyone tells a story quite like Walt Disney. So the dream that I have is also my why. Let me tell you a little bit of background about who I am. I am the owner of Marketing to Go. I have my MBA, and I help businesses as a part-time marketing director. I help them grow. I do the strategic planning, the marketing planning, and then implementation. If we need a bigger team than me, then I go ahead and set that up for them as well. Storytelling is a really big part of my job. I tell why the company is so important and why they're different than anybody else, and we get really good results. I'm also a mom and a wife. I have 3 kids. I have a 7-year-old little boy and an 8-year-old little boy, and then there's my daughter Piper. Piper is my 17-year-old daughter, and she is my why. She acts so developmentally about 6 months to about 3 years functioning. And so she will always be my baby, but more about Piper later. In fact, I'm coming live to you now from Piper's room, her Purple Power room. I learned about Rodan and Fields from my neighbor Sierra. Our kids took golf lessons together, and every once in a while she'd ping me and she'd say, hey, I've got these great products and this great business, give them a try. There's a 100% money back guarantee. And at the time I thought, well, I'm happy with my skin. I was using a bunch of products for the med spa. And my thing is, I always say that I was happy with my skin until I wasn't. And that time came. All of a sudden, all the products that I was spending a bunch of money on didn't work. And they didn't work well together. And I was getting frustrated. Because at 40 and 42, when I had my kids, my boys, my skin did not bounce back like it did when I had Piper. And so I called her. And I tried it. And after 3 days, I thought it was all in my head, but after 3 days, I was seeing these great results. And all of a sudden, on that 3rd day, my husband turned to me in the car. We were headed for a big event, and I was all dolled up. And he said, what are you doing differently with your skin? It looks amazing, softer, smoother, younger looking, glowing. And I just thought, whatever alien took my engineer husband, because ladies, if you're married to an engineer, you know that they don't really say anything besides, oh, look at the pitch of that roof, it's off, right? My husband is not very effusive with compliments, but he did notice my skin. The next day I called Sierra and I said, can I sell this? Because if I can change more women's lives to hear more compliments like this, the world will definitely be a better place. So back to Piper. Back when Piper was 15, she aged out of the only program in the city of Reno whose mission it was to take care of special needs kids in a group setting for daycare and vacation care. And when I kind of freaked out when they called me and said, come and pick her up. And there's no care after that except for private nannies between $25 and $35 an hour, which is not in our budget, or wasn't at the time. So I came to realize that without any care, lots of special needs moms like me and dads don't have any options. So that's where I decided that I wanted to build a place for Piper, not just focus on my long-term care issues with Piper, but also provide for the community. And it's a really big goal. It's going to be a learning, growing, happy place where people with and without disabilities can live and work together and learn to appreciate each other's skills. It's also going to be intergenerational. So, grandpas and grandmas and college students and young kids are all going to be together. When I started looking at Piper's care, I started looking at other residual income businesses like finance or insurance, things that have long-term loyal customers. And I couldn't compete against them because a lot of those people were my marketing customers. So I had to look elsewhere. And, like Sierra said in her video, if you've taken a look, sometimes the universe just gives you what you need. And Rodan and Fields was that. It wasn't competing against any of my customers. I could still do my marketing business, which I love, and help people at the same time get their why. So, I've met some amazing people, Jonathan and Jody Watkins. They're some of the top people that are at Rodan and Fields. And they have a special needs daughter, and they've built a 100-acre horse ranch for a similar purpose for what I want to do with a place for Piper. So it's very inspiring. I have my team called the Specials. Just so happens that everybody who happens to be on the Specials right now either has some connection to a special needs child, whether they're a parent or that they help with special needs kids as educators or have someone in their life. So I think that's pretty cool. And, you know, whether you join us as a customer or a consultant, the possibilities are endless, and they are what you make of them. I'm going to work really hard to create a nonprofit and a foundation to build a place for Piper. It's not a small project. It started off really small, and it's probably going to be in the tens of millions of dollars, but, you know I can do it. I can attract grant money, and I can do it. And, you know, whatever your why is, from a shameless shoe fund to maybe, you know, retirement income or college income for your kids, I know you can do it. It's your why. Or changing your skin, like I started off as. You know, I started as a customer of Sierra's. So as you can imagine, just like any parent, you know, your biggest joy and your biggest sorrow are your kids. And sometimes we just don't get very good news about Piper and her health, and it's very discouraging. So Rodan Fields is one of the ways where I have fun, and it adds fun to my life. I enjoy everybody who's involved in the business, from my customers to my coworkers, basically, or my business partners. And so, and injecting fun is part of my goal for the year. And so to go with the kind of Cinderella theme, which is a dream is your wish your heart makes, I'm actually going to sing the last lyrics of that song. I know, brace yourself, because storytelling to me is very powerful, and singing is one way we pass down information. So ready? Have faith in your dreams, and someday your rainbow will come shining through. No matter how your heart is grieving, if you keep on believing, the dream that you wish will come true. Thanks for listening today. Circle back with your consultant that invited you, and I really hope you take advantage of life-changing skincare. It's pretty amazing stuff. Thanks, everybody.